Rumble. I'll try not to discuss any religion today or even politics or any of that stuff. Just gonna try to have a good time. I want to tell you, religion's a big thing. A big thing. It's not that I don't believe. I don't believe the one sources. You can't trust man, y'all. People are liars. And they like to control too. So get to start here in just a bit. I think I'm about to put this heat off. Wonder what the degree is now. Let's look at the weather. 47. We're getting up today. 47. 34% humidity. It's gonna be a little cold again tonight though. It's gonna be 25 tonight. 25. Tomorrow's going to be 53-26. The next day, 63. Monday. It's going to be 63-31. That looks great. 64-38. Wednesday, 65-48. It looks like there might be a chance for a shower. That sucks. Rain. I'm just looking at Dalton, Georgia's weather. See if we can pull it up. That's Dalton, Georgia's weather. That's what it's looking like, y'all. Why does it say Huntsville? Oh, I see. That's right there. That's another one of my hot spots when I was a kid. Boy, that looks really nice. When I was a young man, we ain't been there in quite a while. I think the last time I went was 17 or 18. Look at that weather, man. Look at that. That is beautiful, man. See about some of these other saved places. Myrtle Beach, one went there once. And I was at a place called Sandy Shores. Of all things. They're 48 right now. They ain't much better than Dalton right now. Just more sunnier than us. We're mostly cloudy. I wasn't a fan of Myrtle Beach. I still like Florida better. I'm a Floridian. I like Florida better. Florida's my place, Holmes. Florida's my vacation home. Okay, give me just a minute. I'm going to cut this heat off, and then we're going to get started. I'm a Georgian at birth, and second place is Florida. Florida. I did spend a big portion of my years in Florida. Especially my birthdays. A lot of them, up until we started switching out over a decade ago. I spent most of my birthdays there. We switch it now. My parents had bought a timeshare. Most of my birthdays were in Florida. I'm a big fan of Florida. Now, I wouldn't want to live there specifically for the hurricane thing. But I know we found out Georgia can get affected by it. Indeed, Dalton got lucky. When it pushed through, Dalton was lucky that last time. That was something else, man. I can't discuss that here because I'm on Twitch. That was more than just weather. And I know there are reasons they're doing it. They're wanting to pump the green crowd. But nah. That's all I can say here. It ain't. I really appreciate one guy on Twitter. He added some of my music to some of his playlists. So I'm really appreciative. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. It always feels good to have a little bit of recognition. I mean, I don't do it for that reason, but it does feel good. I do my music because I wanted to be a musician. Oh yeah, we got to. Almost forgot. Almost forgot, man. Damn it, no. Almost forgot. I go into my own server, so I'm not moited. Mother was a case that they gave me. I don't want to. Mother was a case that they gave me. I don't have to change your clothes because I changed them. Even though I did play about 27 minutes on 27 minutes on TikTok this morning. Boy, it looks good seeing that weather that morning. We have been cold for a week and something now. Mother was a case that they gave me. Mother was a case that they gave me. We'll paint her a little mini thing. Let's take it down to the shiz yacht and get it a piz ink job. Mother was a case that they gave me. Mother was a case that they gave me. Really, dog. It's a Snoop Dizzy dog. Speaking of Dizzy dogs, I hear a dog barking now. He had a dog barking, huh? I hear a Dizzy dog barking, y'all. Oh. Let's see. Hello. That's the cocktail. Now if I can just remember where to turn from the cockatiel. I'm coming at it from a different angle. There it is. Praise to Jesus. I said praise to Jesus. Praise to Jesus. I found it home. I found it home. Really, dog.
What can the best mechanic in LS do for you?
I really should start doing that, practicing. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Oh man, we ain't giving that one. If I give one that, I'm gonna. Well, that reminds me, my daddy used to get obsessed with. If I give that anything, I'm gonna give it to that charger. We'll give her that one. It's cheap. I don't like those light things. Ah, it's locked off, man. That's the color I want. Fuck it, man. See what greens they got for free. Olive. Olive, man. That's the brightest one. Sea green. Guess we'll go with C. There's always olive. Bright. I saw the harbor lights. Let's make it surf. Okay, now let me. There's secondary paint. And bring it back to me. Look at that sea green. Sea green homes. I saw the harbor light. Oh, that's pretty. We'll go with that, baby. Now I gotta get it back home. Sweet little baby, don't you get crazy. Bring it back home to me. Oh, my little baby, bring me a piece of candy. Bring it back home to me.
Slumming before the NBA?
Sweet little lady, oh, you get crazy. Bring it back home to me. We made a little pretty car. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Spenny, $200
We made it a little pretty car. Now we got too many blues again. Whoa, yeah, 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 yeah.
You know how important this is to me. Where the hell are you?
Here we go home. Well, I'm telling you, don't want nobody to hit you. You better not let nobody mess my car up, bitch. Oh, he used that voice on that demo. Bring it back home to me. Look it up, Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion demo. Bring it back home to me. Can't keep candy from my baby when your baby gives it up for free. I said that's an ugly bitch. I said if she's ugly, get her number if she's not ugly. I can't tell. Willie Clinton used to get numbers. Mr. Willie Clinton. If he saw a woman passing down the street, he had to get her number, y'all. Pretty woman, a walking down the street, pretty woman. The kind of lie to me, pretty woman. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's make him play a saxophone. That's horrible, of course. I can't do a saxophone. A pretty woman. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A pretty woman. Yeah, if he saw a woman walking down the road, he had to have her number, Holmes. Pretty woman. Oh, it's pretty. I like it. I like what it did to that car. I wasn't feeling it as yellow. Although now it's the same color as this one over here. Pretty woman, yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty woman. Now we got too many blues. Pretty. Now next time we get a horn. We're gonna get this business the horn, baby. Pretty woman, yeah, yeah, yeah. A pretty woman. A pretty woman. Can't remember the lyrics. What's going on over here? Let's see what's on the TV, home.
Sensitive now. The 80s are over, you know? I'll say the 80s are over. The 80s are never over. You don't just turn off the 80s! Hey, Jackie, okay. You know, I walked out.
That's what's wrong with the Gen X, is a lot of us are stuck in the 80s and 90s. I still am, baby.
I never meant to kill that baby! He said he thought it was a chicken! That's all I thought it was a chicken!
I don't intend to change. I don't intend to change, Holmes.
In the 80s, I could fly an attack helicopter. I could bomb any peasant village I want. And I
Whoa.
could love any girl that I saw on the street. They were movies. They weren't real. Now we gotta get you real.
Those were movies. They weren't real.
That's step number one. We're getting you a Life Invader page. We're getting you a Bleeder account. And I want you posting all kinds of stupid, annoying opinions, okay? So we got them online. And then people started to make negative comments about it. And then we had a major setback.
Whoa. That's the color she painted her car, wasn't it? Nah, it was kind of an orangey color.
Asshole that talks shit on the internet, you're gonna have a few million assholes to kill. Get some ammo, get some extra body bags, and extra large popcorn.
He's taking it too seriously, Holmes. He's taking it too seriously. Let's turn the TV off. Let's get started, baby. Let's get started, SA. Whatever I'm gonna do today. Y'all know I don't really watch TV much anymore. I'm gonna be honest. And I don't even really listen to the even alternative news like I used to. I mean, I used to be like confronting. It's not against him. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got time for it. If I'm doing all this streaming and stuff and playing my video games, I can't watch stuff. But now I don't really watch stuff like I used to. But now one thing I have been doing lately is watching a lot of YouTube videos on biblical things. And finding those audiobooks of the band Texas.
Look, I've got like the most amazing opportunity.
That's one thing I have been doing a lot lately. Like, I used to be camped out in front of Alex Jones every day. And sometimes I would, like, leave it on. Like, my old setup, I used to have a TV with a connection to my computer. And I'd just stream him all day long. And I'd listen to him a little bit at a time. Like, I'd just pick up where I left off. Kind of like a TV network, but it was only between my TV and my computer.
Down to the up and in for burgers.
That woman had a 10. Get that bitch's number.
I just need to lose 50 pounds, then next stop, Vinewood. So sorry. Whatever.
Don't worry, lady. We're just trying to get where we're going.
Excuse me, sugar. That's my fault.
I told him Reg says I have an hour for lunch, and I'll take an hour for lunch.
We're just trying to get where we're going, baby. I was just looking at that sign. I'd never paid attention to that sign before. Pretty woman, yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty woman.
Oh, hey, dude.
You know, I saw the best thing. You know, I always get mean. There's this fat lady on YouTube, Facebook, or I don't know if she's done TikToks, but she's resharing her reels. But when people gives her hell, she just takes a picture of them and trolls them. I don't blame her. You know, people are mean. People are fucking mean. I get mean back. I'm gonna tell you, I give her a thumbs up for the best way of handling. I mean, she's got tattoos all over. She's not that attractive, but yet she's heavy. And they're mean to her. And she just trolls them. She don't go get mean back like me. She just goes and trolls them. I got to give her a thumbs up for that. She just trolls those son of bitches. Like one guy, I don't even know why he was talking about it. That guy had a pig gut. I'm going to tell you, I would have called him pig gut. He had a flannel that was similar like my daddy used to wear. My daddy used to wear this orange flannel. He had a flannel just like them. He was about as big around as my daddy was when he was sick. You know, he swelled up. I'd called that. I'd said, "Hey, pig gut, you get off me." But that woman, that's the best way of handling. And they can't stand it, man. It makes them mad. Like some old girl, she got on there and she said. Most of the people she be trolling be better looking than her, LOL. Well, she trolled her too. It's not the point. It's the point that you shouldn't be going to people's pages and leaving them comments like that. People thinks I'm one of those. But now the people I've been trolling deserved it. These people are horrible people, y'all. Horrible people. Now, a lot of times it is the ugly ones that make fun of people. I've noticed that. I noticed that back on AOL when he used to pass out the fake photos. You know that lady named Britt? I borrowed from her a lot. Her name was Britt. And I don't know I don't remember what she had a real name. I believe it's something else. I won't say it but she went by Britt in the chat rooms. And she'd go, "Harpoon beats well." I borrowed from her several times.
What's up, homegirl?
Because those people that would make fun of her were big and ugly. And years later, she used to attack me and my sister. And when she realized what they was doing, they was stirring her up. She apologized to me and she apologized to my sister. They were stirring her up. They were saying we were saying things about her. And then they would get her saying things about us, and then there would be a battle, and then I'd go in and say something about her, and they were stirring her up. She apologized to me, and I accepted it. I actually understood because she was, even though she was just giving those people back their hell they was giving her. She finally admitted to me that just was stirring her up. I said, well, I didn't really have a problem with you. I told her that. Indeed, I'd laugh at it. I actually thought it was funny. She was teaching me. I even wrote harpoon in a song and bully's big as a whale. Because this bully was as big as a whale. And this was the type of people that she would take on. I even borrowed her line, the harpoon back into the ocean. The end line, if you ever listen to that song. I borrowed it from her. She was just bullying bullies, y'all. She wasn't being a cruel person. She was giving bullies back their stuff. Oh yeah, we done spend it for today. We can't do it again. I remember we did it this morning. I'll go over and see if it tells me how many hours. I'm not going to talk about that junk anymore. But now I will say that I borrowed her stuff. Because I liked it, but I love this woman handles it even more. I mean, she trolls these fucking people. She literally makes TikTok or Reels or something. Because it must be a TikTok. I'd be one of the best she's on TikTok. You know, usually when you see those rears on Instagram and when you see them on Instagram and usually they're TikTok. We'll have to do the cabin stuff today. You better not bastard gab up, baby. I like Christine in this game better. I think that other Christine is ugly and too skinny. I like the the PlayStation Christine better than the Xbox. But you know what? She was first, so this was the first Christine. I just accidentally moved her. We're going wrong. Look at that moon tonight. Yeah, I gotta give that woman a heads up. I don't care whether she's pretty or not. Nobody has any rights going to her page and making fun of her.
Hello.
See, people think I'm like that. Because I've been spreading lies about. But I'm not like that. I hate bullies, y'all. I'm like Kurt Cobain and Marilyn Manson and all them people that didn't like bullies. You know, they didn't like bullies. And I don't like bullies. I'm a conservative version of them. Marilyn Manson, I hate to hate
I got a customer for you right now.
I'm just a conservative Christian version of Marilyn Manson. I don't like bullies. We're not going to talk about that other junk because they pushed the line. You can't do what they did. So I'm going to shut up about them. First of all, if you don't own the image, but you still got to have permission to do things to people's image. Especially on the level that they did on a business level. That's all I'm going to say. You know, that's what they got Alex Jones for. That's what they got Alex Jones for. They consider that profiting off of it. It's a crime. And because Texas is screwed up, those people could sue him. And them other states were screwed up. They could sue him for whatever they wanted.
What's happening?
And they destroyed him.
Hi.
You're not supposed to name names and stuff. And Drake in that thing with Lamar, you're not supposed to name names in songs. And there are protected ways of doing it, and there's unprotected ways. So I'm just not going to mention any more about that stuff. I'm just talking about, like, say, this lady, the way she gets even with people, compared to me just cussing at them. Usually I just cuss at them. But I really was impressed with how this lady does it. Of course, one of these idiots is ignorant to the law anyway. I've repeatedly posted that law several times that says you can't do what she did, and she still mocks and makes fun of it. She could have got up to 20 years for what she did over at that business that day if we'd have went to magistrate court. Now, would she have got it? Who knows? They might have gave her 2, 3 years. You never know. Some woman got 5. Or what did that lady get? The one that went to New York, and she broke the similar law at the abortion clinic. What did they give her? 7 years? I think she might be one that Trump may pardon. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But now they gave her some time. That was how I found out how to check it out, and that's when I saw how big it was. It's 1 to 20 years, and a $50,000 fine. I didn't go to magistrate court. I should have. But now I do know where to report future instances like that again. You have to go to the Department of Human Services. When people abuse you disability-wise, you have to take it to the Department of Human, and then they do deal with it. That's who you report it to. I'm telling anybody that's disabled out here, you ever have anybody to misuse you and mistreat you, you take it to, because there's not a whole lot of information on this. You don't know where to handle it. You take it to the Department of Human Services. If they bother your elderly people or disabled people, and it's the same law, by the way, in Georgia. In Georgia, it's the same law. The same law that covers the elderly covers the disabled people. If anybody ever abuses you or gets abusive with you, you take it to the Department of Human Services. And then they deal with it. See, I didn't know all that back then, so I just went to my old ways like I always did. I went fussing at it. Fussing at it didn't work.
Thank you.
We're still dealing with it all these years later. My old ways of handling things didn't work this time. It's a big failure. Indeed, it just caused a big old gigantic years-long argument. But now, if I hadn't used some information that I knew right now, I would have went to the Department of Human Services, even more to magistrate court. Exactly. But I did realize one thing, and this ain't talking bad about people. When I saw the disrespect that those people had, I should have walked out of there and not bought a ticket, went home, and never went back to that place again. That's what I should have done. That's what I really should have done. I tell you, the disrespect that we was shown, I should have told my mama to drive me back home, and I'm not gonna buy the ticket. Went home. That's my regret. That's my regret there. But God's seen it all. God knows who the guilty ones are. I see it now. There it is. I'm not discussing that junk anymore. I was just telling you. I was talking about that lady, and she did partially help inspire that song. Her and her way she used to deal with the big people and that used to be mean to her. I mean, she was heavy. She was a little lady. She was little, and she was kind of, I think she got probably fat because she was small. She had 2 or 3 children. And they were mean to her, that lady. And they would even make it appear that I was doing things to her. And she eventually sent me some shots and showed where they were stirring up trouble. And I told her one time, I said, one of them times they was doing it, I said, sometimes I'm not blunt. And I'm not. I will make general posts that I'm talking about individuals, but I don't name them. Because that's the way you're really supposed to be. I mean, legally, you're supposed to do that. And people will get it in their head that I'm talking about this person. And I'm really talking to another person. And they think I'm talking about them. And that's what happened there. And I explained that to her. I said, well, because of legal, I learned all that stuff when I was learning how to write songs. Like this book I bought one time on songwriting, told you never to name people. Michael Savage used to cover this stuff too about how to stay legal. Michael Savage on his radio program. He used to tell you how to stay legal without getting in trouble. So I just wouldn't name people, you know. Not that I'm a coward, I just stay legal. I don't have money for attorneys and things. So I stay legal. And he got by with it. I mean, look at a lot of his books. He's got a whole book where he trolled people, called The Political Zoo. He called them animals. He called them animals. Some of them were farm animals, some of them were worms, some of them were snakes, some of them were birds. I think he called Howard Stern the Balloon Man. I'm pretty sure Balloon Man was his term for... I use a little bit of savage too, you know. A little bit of savage. Savage. Uh-oh. Well, maybe we can turn up here. Maybe there's a place to turn up here, because I really need to get off down there. Let's see if there's a place to turn here. Oh, my eye. Yes, I seen it. I seen a car turn. I see another car turn. Here we go, Holmes.
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Don't do anything illegal. Beware of the ego that's right in the middle of your back. Got you in a sack. If I ever run into this situation anymore, I'm going to take it to the I ain't going to do nothing. I'm just going to take it to the proper people. I'll take it to the Department of Human Services if it's a disability thing. Or I'm going to go to magistrate court. If possible, I'm going to call the police and at least get a police report. And then take it to the magistrate court. Because I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't think it would go as long as it did. I would have never saw that one coming. Though. This person's crazy. Got you in a sack. Well, that's one of Charlie's best songs. I always liked that one. But he was right there. Of course, they said he was a CIA asset. It's always been said he was CIA. Oh, I see where I'm supposed to turn. Is that it, or is that just a... Let's make sure we get at the right place. It's hard for me to watch that map and drive too. There ain't a road there. There is one coming up though. Boy, this is the shits. This right here. Did I pass it? I passed it. Let me go back and see. Boy, this is the shit, man. I don't think there's a road there. Won't be able to see for Dumpy in the way there. There's no road. We'll just have to keep driving until we find the road that I can turn back that way. Hope Dumpy's gone by now. Yeah, thank the Lord. There's a road here. Let's go ahead and take it. So we get going in the other direction. Or if I keep going this way, or is it a dead end? It's the bus station. Well, this is the pits here. This is like some of them fucking places you get to drive out in Dalton. It's fucking pits. Fucking pits, man. Oh, we're not getting on the freeway. Oh, man. No. We're going riding on the freeway of love. We're going riding on the freeway. Oh, we can turn off up here, though. Crazy Jesus, we can turn off. I hope. Oh, no, not the airport. I hate the fucking airport. I'm sweating now. I shouldn't have left the heater on. I ain't used to this. I'm used to being freezing to death. The other day I had a cover on while I was gaming. You know when I'm putting a cover on, I'm cold, man. You know I've always been hot-natured. Well, we far away from that business. That business all the way on the other side of the country, home. Trying to pass a slow-ass bitch. Oh, my God! Right off the road. That was funny, man. I gotta get over here on the other side. Well, I just say I might as well just call this a quit. I done tore that fucking cow all the way to pieces, man. Sometimes I get comic out of some of the things that I get stuck in this game. Comic relief, man. Comic relief. Imagine if the customer had been in the cow. That would have really been fun. Too bad the customer. That's really funny because you hear him panicking. That one he cast as the devil. I like him because I always go around casting devils out. I've been doing that since I was a kid. When I used to shake my cane at the devil, while at the same time questioning whether they were all real or not. I'm talking about God and the devil. I'd shake my cane at him. You never know. This world's full of illusions. It's a world full of illusions, man. I don't feel sorry questioning. Indeed, I would feel sorry if I actually just didn't question. The way that our world works, if I didn't question things, I'd say I was a dumbass. I'd say I was retarded as fuck. If I went through this life just believing everything these motherfuckers tell you. Because they just want to control you, Holmes. But now when you start seeing spiritual or hearing of spirit, oh, they found their club. I haven't been down here in their club in a long time. I mean, I'd call myself an idiot if I didn't question them. Because you can't believe them. I don't care if your grandpappy was a pastor. You can't believe that. I had some relative pastors as well. Just because, I mean, this deception's been going on for a long time, y'all. Y'all know the American deception, the Illuminati version of the American Revolution started on May 1st, 1775, I believe. 5 or 6. I'll have to look it up. I think it's 1776, but it might have been 75. So this stuff was going on right alongside when they were forming the United States of America. May 1st, Commie Day. Deception has been going on for a long time.
Hello. Let's go, please.
Okay, buddy. I'm getting away, so we'll turn on this road up here. Maybe we'll get right back.
What the hell, man? Get his own problem. You asshole! I don't want
God's been a big part of the deception as well. They especially like hiding God from you. They don't want you to know how powerful you are as God made in his image. Made in his image. They wanted to mute you and put you under them. Said you had to be, they had to rule you. That's what the crux of religion is. So I don't apologize, question. It's not that I don't believe in God. I don't believe in who's preaching to me about who God is. And if I see you got good qualities, I've got nothing against you. There are a few pastors I like out there. But now, the most part, if I see any kind of manipulation going on, I got a problem. And I don't care to have the problem, and I'll leave that up to God. I'll let him be the judge. You gotta be careful, too. You don't want to talk about God's anointed. And God's anointed just ain't pastors, by the way. God's anointed is his people, his people. He does have people. He has people that have woken up to him. And he counts them as his people. And that don't mean because you're on the planet, you're part of his people, too, just by being a person. But now he has his people, the ones that know who he is. And he's very protective of his people that know who he is. So you got to be careful even when you, like say, even when you're when you're going up against somebody that you think is wrong. Because if they were right and you went up against them, and you did it with, especially with malice, he's going to pay it back to you. But you're going to reap anyway. I don't care what people say. There ain't no such thing. Your salvation is your soul. It's a gift. Everything else has to be earned. The blessings, all that has to be earned. You get the blessings from doing what he tells you to do. If you don't do what he tells you to do, you don't get the blessings. Now, as far as salvation is concerned, your soul is safe. You don't just get all that stuff just for believing in him. Because there's reap and sow. Good and bad. I mean, he even says that. You're going to pull you up and you're going to be judged on your goods and your bads. You're going to get rewarded for it. You don't just get that stuff by hand. Why do you think I get myself robbed a lot of times? Because I get myself in bad situations and I rob my blessings. You can't treat people like shit. And that probably even means not even turning the cheek at them. You can't do that. I'm sorry. You're not going to... All you got is your salvation if you believe in it. That's a gift. The rest of it you got to earn. That's what they meant by the works. But the works. In other words, I said it's not about the works, but it is about the works. In other words, your salvation's not about the works. Your salvation is fine. But you ain't gonna get the rest. I mean, you can hinder your own prayers and hinder your own blessings and this and that. And I'm a chief of that. I'm a chief of that. You're hearing it from the horse's mouth. That's funny. I could actually picture a horse. When I said that, I pictured the horse.
What the hell?
Man, I run over something. I didn't even see what it was. I could actually picture the horse. Once you've accepted him as your Lord and Savior, and you believe that he died for your sins, and you believe that the blood of Jesus covers that, Your sins are from that day forward is forgiven. But now the blessings and all that, you got to earn that with your works.
I've got something for you.
If you're doing people nasty, you're gonna reap it back. That's the part. Well, I'm saved. Well, yeah, you are saved. I don't understand why people want to treat people. I mean, I get nasty with nasty people. I don't understand why you want to walk around here being. I mean, really, if your heart had God in it, would you really want to be doing people like that? Because God told you to love people. Even I believe that. I just am bad at it. I'm bad at hating enemies. That's my big problem. Me and him, we talk about it all the time. It's a part of mine and my prayer life to him. We talk about it all the time now. Sometimes I even get grieved because I know I'm breaking his heart. Here's the question. Are you grieved about how you treat people? If you're not grieved about how you treat people, you don't give a damn, you ain't got his heart at your interest. Because if you really do care about him, you're going to care that you're out of line with him. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes I do care and sometimes I don't. That's an honest answer. Sometimes people push me to the point where it's, well, Lord, I'm sorry, but they did this. And he's the Lord. But sometimes I get there. But then I'm reading the Bible later. And I'm not in no bad mood or anything. I'm just wanting to learn from him, and then he'll start preaching in his word. And I'll get, well, Lord, I'm grieved today. I don't care that I've done that to the person, but I care that I'm out with my Lord. If you can honestly just treat people like crap and not bother you, you don't have God in your heart. Because I can't even really get mean with enemies without it at least coming to my mind. Because I remember when he tells me. But now he has told me about certain situations. Like when I get angry, he says just get angry and sin not. Well, you can find that in his text. Get angry and sin not. I always end up sinning. Then here comes the MFers and the C-suckers and the name calling. Sometimes it's just childish name calling. Child grade school stuff. But I start the name calling. But if you can treat people like crap and you don't care about it, you don't have God in your heart. Because he tells you to love people. I do have one thing that I'm going to be honestly facing him with. I've never actually been mean to people just to be mean to them. Probably with the exception of when I was a kid. And I've already long repented for that. Like I prayed for that a long time ago, like when I first became a Christian. I tell you, there was times I was probably mean to kids that I shouldn't have been mean to. And I really shouldn't have, because people were that way to me. But I'm going to tell you, that's sort of the lesson. Because when I started learning how they did me, I thought about that. And then from that day forward, like say when I was older, like 12, 13, I thought, well, I didn't like it when people did me that way, so I'm not going to do them that. So after 13, after 12 and 13, 11, 12, 13, probably from when did you enter? When did they put me in? 5 years old? Yeah, 5 back then. I went to kindergarten at 5 years old. So I was 5 to about 9. I was different. And about 10, 11, 12, I started. Well, you didn't like it. And I'm talking about my brain. Well, you didn't. It's probably God, but I just thought it was my brain. You know, I was going through it. Well, you didn't like it when people were treating you this way. You didn't like it. And I settled that down. But now I would still, at 13, I would turn my cheek. At those times, I was mean to people that would bother me. Even before I got to 13. I've thought about that. Indeed, sometimes I was mean to kids, so I shouldn't have probably been mean to them. Because I got annoyed with them. But from like 9 to 13, I learned a lesson. I started getting where, well, I didn't like that happening to me, so I just went on to do it. But now, if you've done something to me, I didn't fully let loose at 13. I tried to stay nice. Sometimes I get annoyed with people. If I got annoyed to them, I got mean with them. I'm still that way. I can sometimes still get mean if I get annoyed. That's another thing I need to repent from. So we shouldn't really be mean to people. Ah! But normally, if I was mean to you, there's a reason. In other words, I just wasn't sure mean to you. I can't say I was always like that because sometimes when I was a kid, I was mean to people. But I grew out of that bullshit when I got older. Like somewhere around 10 to 13. And at 13, I went full-blown asshole. So even starting with the teachers, and I'd sort of do it back then. But I was kind of like testing the waters. I was kind of scared. But then there was Jesus. You see, that's why you got to be careful, too. I wasn't under the bounds of religion. I tell people that story. There's Jesus and Axel and Dave Mustaine. And then I got sassy. When I read that pilot, I'm not lying about that. I really did get in trouble. I told that principal, you're out to get me, but you won't catch me. It's a vice. He wanted to be principal. This bitch wanted to be the main guy. The real guy is a little short dude. He's a little short, red-headed, bearded guy. He'd been like the red-headed stepchild. He'd joke about being the red-headed stepchild. He's a little short dude. He's red-headed, had a little red beard, and this guy, he's a big old 8-foot guy. 7-something at least. He was over my head. Over my head. Over my head. I don't know if it was his shoes or what, but he was a big dude. He was tall, big old skinny. And indeed, I'll tell you a picture you can picture him. If you get out Ferris Bueller and you look at the Dean, that's him, man. He's even bald like him. Mustache. That's him, man. I wasn't popular, but I was kind of like Ferris Bueller. He was after me. I was the unpopular fat Ferris Bueller. And he was the Dean. And that's how the lady got on to me, too, by the way. Of course, she'd already threatened me. She already said that year before in 88. See, that's how long it took me to get in trouble. See, that's why I'm talking about testing the waters. Now, that was Jesus that sparked it. Axel, he was kind of involved, but Jesus with Pilate. I thought, well, here's my little brain. Well, Jesus told Pilate he didn't have no power over him. I'm going to do the same thing with these people at school. You see, it just matters what Jesus you're liking. You see, me, I was always liking the rebel Jesus and the whip Jesus and the smart Jesus, the smart of a pilot. That was the Jesus I grew up admiring and eventually become to believe in. And then I got to meet the Savior Jesus. I didn't meet the Savior Jesus till around 94. That's when I actually, I heard Grandma and them talking about him, but I didn't. Me being a kid, my mind was on He-Man, Skeletor, Star Wars. I still like all that stuff. He-Man, Skeletor, Star Wars, Voltron. I really love Voltron. Especially the vehicle Voltron. Especially the vehicle Voltron. I like the vehicle the best. Der Runner or whatever his name was in Japan. Lion was called Go Lion, or however you say it. Go Lion. I don't know exactly how you say it. See you at the gym. Boy, I hope I get to hit the gym this week. If this fatty don't, he's gonna get fat again. I mean, my arms are still buff. I was seeing it the other day. I can still see the veins in my arm. If I don't start hitting the gym, I'm gonna be a fatty again. I'm still fatty. I still got a belly, but at least I'm a toned fatty. I'm gonna be an untoned, fat, fleshy thing if I don't start hitting the gym again. I'm gonna be a fleshy thing. Boy, I can pull out pictures of me of a karaoke I did on the day my album was supposed to drop. 2006. I was fat, man. I was a whale. You want to talk about big as a whale? I was big as a whale. 383 pounds. A whale. A fucking whale. So I'm not that whale anymore. I'm a toned whale. I'm a toned, I don't know how to put it. I'm down to where my father was when he gained his weight. I'm about around the same weight. Indeed, he was a little more. He's like 283, I believe. And I'm 274, so I'm a little less than my father. My body's starting to remind me of my father. I never did realize I looked like my father, because I'm taller than him. But now I'm starting to remind me of my father. It'd be good, though, if I could get down and skinny. I'd be nice looking. My daddy was nice looking when he was young.
Hey, buddy. I wondered if I could post.
So it would be kind of nice if I could work on myself and get myself better. I'd probably be pretty nice looking. Probably have to fix my hair some, 'cause I'm grungy, you know. I've been wearing that grunge haircut since the grunge. I used to kind of wear it long. And then I started cutting it about 94-ish, 5-ish. And I've been wearing this haircut since, and I'll let it grow out every once in a while. So I wore the same fucking haircut for ages. I went blonde a few times. I went black one time, lost a bunch of chunk of my hair. Never went black again, even though I like the black the best. If you want to know what I like the best, I like the black. But I'll never do it again. Because my daddy, he was natural black. He was natural born black-headed. I was a blondie. And then when I turned brunette when I grew up. But I was a blondie when I was a kid. I was a little blondie. Indeed, people accused me of being a little girl. Used to make my daddy mad. He used to grit his teeth, say, going about my pretty little girl. Daddy's little girl ain't a girl. Oh, boy, I used to have a connection with that song. Daddy's little girl ain't a girl no more. Daddy, because people accuse me about a little girl. They still do. They still call me woman today. I let it roll off. God gave me the face he wanted me to have. He wanted me to have. Sickness mutated it. All the sickness. Daddy's little girl ain't a girl. That song, I used to have a connection with that when I was young. Indeed, it's one of my least favorites now. But back when I was young and I first heard it, I loved that song. Oh! We saved that one. We didn't hit that one. He'd also go on to my mom about cutting my hair, because I like keeping my hair long even then. I was picky. I always liked long hair, y'all. I don't care. Let them say what they want to say. They're just jealous back then, so I was pretty. That was their real problem. I was a little pretty boy. And they're jealous. Them fuckers were jealous. They're probably jealous because their kid was ugly. They're probably jealous because their kid was fucking ugly. They were jealous, man. They were making fun of me because they was jealous. That's always the reason people's making fun of you. When they're making fun of you, it's usually jealous. Now with me, I'm usually just getting back at some fucker. But no, most 9 times out of 10, it's usually jealousy. They're jealous of something. That's the reason they're making fun of you. We're going to end with that.
I got a pickup not too far from you. Sending you the
I just get back at fuckers. You made 72-18 today. Yeah, that cab, listen to it. Listen to that sizzling, baby. Boy, she's far away from home, though. I made a mistake, home. I'll have to do some motherfucking hustling. I think I'll look good again if I ever get down, because I'm telling you, my daddy was nice looking. We can find some pictures of him. That guy was sharp looking. And I'm starting to remind me of him, now that I'm down to about 10 pounds less than he was before he died. I never saw myself like my daddy before. See, I was always a giant, and I was always big while he was alive. I was huge. I was fat. I was a fat man. Still fat. But I'm not as fat as I was. This fatty's got to keep hitting the gym. This fatty's got to keep hitting the gym. We'll see what I can do about the neck. I'm going to try sometimes they say they work, sometimes they don't. Some of them methods ain't sure. Sometimes your only thing you can do is surgery. If that's the case, we'll just keep it. I'll just let it hang. I'll let fuckers throw off on it and let them reap their benefits. They'll reap one day. They'll get 40, 50, they'll get fat. They'll get fat and bald. And then they'll reap. These fuckers will make fun of you. They'll get fat, ugly, and bald. And they'll reap. Go ahead and I want you to smack them with the ugly stick. Smack them with the ugly stick, Lord. There, I'm praying for my enemies. Smack them with the ugly stick. That's just called asking them to make them ugly. I ain't asking them to kill them or anything. Smack them with the ugly stick, Lord. You know, God, he's got a sense of humor anyway, so he might do it just for the sense of humor. He does have a sense of humor. He laughs. Go pick up the Psalms. Read how many times he sits in the heavens and laughs. He might be, well, at least he didn't ask me to kill him. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Ugly stick. Pop. You never know. He didn't ask me to kill his enemies, so I'll pop him with the ugly stick. Ha ha. I could see him doing something like that. He's got a humor. God's got a humor. You know, that's what he did with Solomon. Solomon didn't ask him for his enemies. And he asked him, he says, some asked me to get even with my enemies and this and that. And he asks me for wisdom. Okay, you can have it. Poof. And he gives him the wisdom. Or they wanted things for themselves. I'm guilty there. You know how many times I've asked him for things for myself? Sometimes I've asked him to deal with enemies. It's usually rare, but I do. I've gotten there. I can't say I hadn't done it. Because I do. But now more things is more asking for things. And sometimes he's delivered and sometimes he hadn't. I will tell you that. He's got a hit and miss with that. Sometimes he's gave me exactly what I've asked for. And then sometimes I don't get it. And then sometimes those times I prayed for things I was glad he didn't do. Unanswered prayers. I love that song, y'all. Might be an old wealthy Garth Brooks song. Boy, he's ruined himself for me, though, where his politics is concerned. But now he is right on one thing. We shall be free. He's talking about the injustices of the world. And yes, I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm probably going to offend some Christians here. You shouldn't be being mean to people just because they're gay. Now, what you should do is love them enough to love them. And probably even pray for them. I don't know if you should get into competitions with them. Because you're just going to make them... It's like what I was saying about Marilyn Manson all those years ago. Provoking him with a sign just going to make him hate God more. Probably the best thing to do would be take it between you and the Lord and say, Lord, this person over here. Show them the light. I saw the light. I saw the light. No more die. I don't know if they're what they're teaching is light though. Because I think they may be selling you a little bit of the light, but keeping you away from God in full. Not letting you know the full extent of God. I'll tell you some things that don't make any sense. And I'm going to tell you, I went back to Genesis today. I got to reading the blah, 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 blah about the creation. And I kept on, oh, man, this ain't what I'm looking for. This ain't what I'm looking for. Ah, yeah, here it is. And God created men. And we made them in our own likeness. You know, they've hidden the mother aspect in our version. Well, if we're made in our likeness, and you read that scripture after knowing the Gnostic texts, our likeness is male. And she's a female. I'm male. She's a female. But God created us in His likeness. In our likeness. In our likeness. It don't make sense, man. But when you start reading the other texts, Pergasus and Sophia and all these others and Elohim and Yahweh and all this makes sense. The children of the source God. Now, I don't know whether it's right or not. That's what it is, because I was reading the Lost Book of John. Yes, I think I even shared it. I told people to pray about it if you go listening to it. Because I'm going to tell you, this stuff can elf you up. This stuff can elf you up. Because I got elfed up one time and got away from it altogether. But knowing about the children of the source. The God that got jealous. That sounds a lot like he's even admitted in our book. He's a jealous God. Oh, you're touching blasphemy. You're talking about other gods before God. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying what the texts say. And I worry about that, tell you. I tell you, when I speak that stuff, there's just like this sheer goes all the way from my head to toe. But now I'm talking about making sense compared to what I've learned when I was a kid. And what makes sense. Now, I know they tell you not to go on your own understanding, but that could be a brainwashing technique too. I mean, they can tell you, you get into these cults. You let them start brainwashing you. They'll tell you to stop using your mind. Because they want you to believe what they're telling you to believe. Now, I still believe in God. I just don't know if we're being sold the right truth. Now, I'm not saying that we're being sold the truth of those, because they were left out for a reason. They are left out for a reason, and they are left out for a reason. If you hear what I'm saying. I could say either way on that. They're left out for a reason, and they're left out for a reason. It could be a double whammy there. They're either somebody wanting to hide the truth from you, or they were lies. You got to take your pick, and I'm just going by just my understanding of how even the world works. This is our world. People could say, yeah, he's God, he can do anything he wants to do. Why is there not a mother? You know, that's the biggest thing that I've always been bothered by when I was a kid. I don't know how I even thought to think about that. One of the biggest things, I guess because I had a mama and I loved my mama. And people says, well, Mary's his mama. No, he dates back before Mary. He even appeared. He was the guy that appeared in the center there. He's the sin of guy when he's talking to Abraham. That's the spirit of the Lord. The angel of the Lord. He was around. He was around, Holmes. He was a spirit. And God was a spirit. And even though this part gets me, because it's talking about a source God that just is, but ain't. But just he just is. He's a light. He's a light. I saw the light. People see the light when they die. He's supposed to be a light source. Maybe they're going back to the light source. I'm just using my brain here. There's things that make sense. That was an argument that my father was having while he was dying, by the way. And that gave me chills. I believe it was the doctrine of Sophia, where they were telling this. whatever it was called, the book of, it had a name, and I may have the wrong book, because I've been looking at a lot of them lately. Gospel of Thomas, etc. What if the light source is the light source? And you go back to it. My daddy was seeing the light, by the way. And indeed, they were in there hollering. He's talking about lights. He's talking. And I was thinking to myself, sitting there saying, yes, then. And then they brought him in the living room, and he was having a conversation. I got to go up. I got to go down. I got to go. You mean I got to go back? That, I want to tell you, one of those Gospels, I can't remember, it was Thomas, the Sophia one of them, and it gave me chills. Because supposedly, whatever this entity is that traps us on earth, in these Gospels, he erases your memory and he sends you back. And that gave me chills. Because I remembered that argument my father was having. He was going back. He was going back somewhere. He didn't die at about, maybe a couple hours later. Whenever they took him to the hospital, an hour later. I'd have to ask my family how long it lasted after they took him back to the hospital. That's the last I seen him, by the way. He was having this argument with something. He seen a light too. I think he seen one of his half brother. He seen him. I think he's seen him. His name in him. But anyways, oh man. What if this light that we see, sometimes I say it might even be a trap. But I've come up with a new conclusion. Just learning about the light source, this guide that it creates. That was the thing about in that gospel I was listening to yesterday. He's neither male nor female, but it creates, and it's the source of all. And the source likes to create. It's a light. Boy, I'm really into these texts. Whether they're fiction, realistic, or I'm really into it. I really enjoy studying this stuff. I want to be careful, though, because the Bible does warn you about not falling to fairy tales. But now, I really am into this stuff. If you want to talk about really into something, I've been really alive studying this stuff. Because I've always had questions about what they told us. Indeed, that's why I just wouldn't believe. But I will tell you that the description of him is accurate. Because when I told him to be with my mother, he appeared with my mother. And she's seen him. I didn't see him, but she did. And how they describe him in the Bible is how she described him. And she thought she seen an angel. She was telling them all. And I said, I overheard her talking. I said, Mama, I don't think you seen an angel. You don't? I said, no. I said, I told him I didn't trust angels. And I told him to go. And I said, how you describe him? He's big. He's muscular. He's a big dude. But she couldn't see his face. His face was so bright. If you go read up on Jesus, or the angel of the Lord, or God, his head is so bright. His eyes are so bright, they will burn. They will burn you. He even told Moses that, wasn't it? Or Abraham, whichever one it was he passed by. Was it Moses? I believe it's Moses. He passed by one of them. He told him he couldn't look at me. And I'm going to tell you, that's when I become the Christian. When Mama told me what she seen, I had no more questions in my brain about whether he was real or not. Now, I did have some questions about what things like I'm talking about now that I just was afraid to talk about. I didn't ever run into any text talking about it. But how do you get something about a mama? Said stuff like that. Because that was one of my little childhood things. And I didn't take the Mary thing, because I looked at it and he was around before then. The Mary thing didn't apply. That's why he was on Earth. Even my little brain could grasp that. I'm going to tell you, though, whether they're fiction, whether they're real, I'm enjoying it. I enjoy that more than TV. You want to talk about watching TV, or watching a movie, or watching some old fake superhero? I like learning about God. And learning, because see, I want to know him. I really want to know him. I don't want to be told who he is. I want to know him. And whether it's fiction, whether I'm going off on a trail, I've been praying for him to let me know. And the more I pray, the more he lets me discover more of them. See, I want to know him. And I want to really know him. I don't want to just know what people told me. And I want to know him from based on what my experiences is, but I still want to know his history. I want to know his history. Because everything has a history. That don't fly with me about, well, that source does, because but then even that made sense to me. But I was thinking, yeah, if he's a source, he can be around. He's a source. He's like a computer. But now the computer was created. But he's like a source. He's a source of everything. So even my brain can accept that. You see what I'm saying? My brain can't accept just somebody just being. Because I'm thinking we were all created. Unless God's always been the source all along and we just missed. But no, he's a man. Because he was standing with Jesus. I'm not trying to bash you up there, Lord. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Just keep looking through me through those eyes of Jesus. And, you know, the blood's supposed to cover our faces. And he don't get to see us. He sees us through Jesus. Because I'm not trying to question. I really just want to learn the history. I'm not even being blasphemous. I really just like learning about God. There's human too, by the way, and you got to be careful with that. And that's what I keep that in my mind. And they tell you not to let it grab you away from the Gospels. That's the warning. Don't let the fairy tales drag you away from the Gospels. The gospel is salvation through his blood, by the way. That's the gospel. That's the good news. Spread the good news. He came and shed his blood for your sins. He died for yours and mine sins. That's the gospel. But now I don't know, some of those texts are saying something else. It's saying that we all just are God, and I don't agree with that. I'm not agreeing with that. I don't agree with that. I don't think we're all God. But now if the source all created us and they consider them all guides, well then maybe you are God. I don't know. It's the prostitutes. But I'm not gonna go there. I feel like it's blasphemous. My brain won't let me go there. I'm gonna keep it out of that. But you are all little G's. That's what the Masons believe. But I'm gonna leave it to God's guide. I'm gonna keep that at a bay. I'm gonna keep that at bay, y'all. I'm gonna be careful there. I'm treading carefully. As I've told you, I'm God-fearing. I was always afraid of him. And there's this reason why I was that way. I was drawing these one time as a kid. And I was whiting them up as I was drawing them. And it come to my brain. This is what come to me. What if God whited you up? You wouldn't be able to do nothing about it, now would you, son? Oh God, I got a weapon. My stick hung up or something, and it wouldn't hung up at that point. Yeah, that's what came to my brain. As a little boy, I can't tell you where it was. I know we had this. The only thing I can describe, it had to be somewhere around 86 or 7. Because we used to have this old converter box, and my daddy went and got it. It's a big old thing. I mean, this thing was huge. It had a big dial in the center of it. He wanted to watch TNN. And our cable system got TNN, and he had to have a box to have it. And this is a big old thing. I mean, it was black. It was big. It had a big dial in the center of it. Big old knob, like a television knob. And we still had that box in, because I still remember the box being on the end of the couch. He'd put it up on the arm of the couch. And that knob was, that thing was stuck, because I was laying on the couch. I was laying there drawing. Had a little waste back. I don't remember what was on the garbage can. It might have been the A-team. Something was on the garbage can. I don't remember what it was. And I was just scribbling, throwing away, scribbling. What if God wadded you up like you're doing those drawings? What would you do about it? Something like that. It come to me like that, and I thought, yeah, couldn't do nothing about it, Lord. I got the fear of God in me. And it was kind of silly because it was really nothing, but yet it was something. It was a moment to me. It was like that epiphany. You know, the epiphany that God could get rid of me. '86 and '87. It had to be '85, '86, and '87. Because that's when we had the converter. And then later on we got a newer one. Like late '80s, they gave a new one. It had some red digits on it. It was like red digits. It had red digits on it. 2 little red digits. But that original cable box, it had a big old dial on it. It had a big dial. Big TV knob. We had VH1 too, by the way. We didn't have MTV. We didn't get MTV till 1987. With the premiere of the remote control. The end of the good MTV. They said remote control is what killed MTV. Video killed it. It was remote control that killed MTV. It led to them making all them freaking shows. We had VH1 from the early 80s all the way to whenever we had the big dial converter. I'll see if I can find one of them 80s with the knife. I'm gonna look, Google it, and see if I can find one. I'd like to see it again. Because it was kind of, it wasn't like the little converters that you got in the beginning. It had a big dial in the center. There wasn't nothing to it but the big dial. It had the big dial and the places you plugged it in at, the TV, the cable. It's post 84, I will tell you that. Because from the late 70s till about 84, my daddy used to know how to get HBO for free. Indeed, that's how we first watched Halloween. It had lines through it. But they knew how to get it. And about 84 and 85, they cracked down on that. Then they brought in the converter box. So it'd probably been anywhere from 85 to 87, 88. I think 88 is when he went and got the new converter. So it was anywhere from 85 to 88. He got a smaller little converter with a red digital. It's brown on the outside. Well, I got her a bath. I wish it was a little warmer. I'd go out. I'm tired of being in the house all the time. I tell you, I would go outside. It's just too cold. 47's still too cold for me. Especially now that I'm an older man. If I'd been younger, I probably wouldn't have plucked. Gave a pluck. I wish this fucker would go on. He needs to go fuck himself. If he's illegal, I hope they round him up. Yeah, it's still too cool for me. I like that. That looks like something. She looks like she's in high school or something. Okay, let's see. Give her some glasses. Let's give her those glow glasses. I'm gonna make her look like she's Back to the Future. Okay, let's give her some shoes. Let me give her some shoes. We'll give her some boots. Got them cowboy boots, baby. I like those. Let's get those. There we go. That's gonna be her dressing for the next time we come on. I probably should go back into jail soon. So what I'm going to do is for Sunday or Saturday Night Live. I haven't finished that, by the way. I never get to the Nirvana performance. Boy, everybody sure is attacking. People forget that was their band too. I'm talking about, in particularly, Nova Selage. Nova Selage was there from the very beginning. People forget that was their band too, and he's gone. And he's not coming back. And whether you like it or not, time moves on. And it moves on for all. And it even moves on with bands as they're together. Sometimes they're never the same band that they were, even in today's world. It's all useless to argue over that bullshit. And that none really matters anything. It's all been inflated. It's all nothing. It's all just what somebody said it was. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. If they hadn't run into the right people, you would have never heard them. I'm talking about all the biggies. I'm talking about everybody that's ever been great. Everybody from Elvis on down. You would have never heard any of them. If they hadn't run into the right people that put them in your face. I say they still sound good together, and I say they should still play together. And if little critics just don't want to like that, that's fine. That's my opinion, Nova Selage and Grow. Because people knows at the end of the day, these people, they have their pains. They're not gods. They have their pains. They have their sorrows. They have their pets they love. They have their children they love. They have their good days. They have their bad days. They have their poop days. They have their sick days. They have their flu days. They have their cold days. They're just as human as you are. And the only difference between them and some of these other little mini musicians out here is somebody discovered the mini musician. Somebody discovered the mini musician and made him or her a big musician. And a lot of times it was Mafia Tide. Mafia Tide was a lot of those bigger ones back in the day. Frank Sinatra, you name it. But if somebody big or some entity had not discovered any of those little people, now they are great. Some of them are great. I'm going to give you Morrison. I love Morrison. Jim Morrison. Music, not so much. I'm telling you, it's not really bad, but it ain't the best in the world. But now there's something about his presence that he brings to the table. Probably his spiritual level. I don't know. There was something about it, because it ain't just the music. Because sometimes that stuff can get sleepy. You're listening to in full. But now he had his songs. But now there's a presence about him. Kurt Cobain. There's nobody else like him. Elvis. He was kind of his own character. Jimi Hendrix. But now the thing about it is, none of these people would have ever been discovered had they not been discovered. And you wouldn't know about them. They'd still be wherever they were at, and you wouldn't know about them. If somebody hadn't put them up there. But now, Nova Selage, he's been with that, but Grow has been with them since the beginning of the buzz. When you look, he come in with Aneurysm. They recorded a demo of Aneurysm when he came in. They put Smells Like Teen Spirit out. They got huge. So Dave Grohl, he come in around the time they were taking off. when they recorded the album. And then even on the last album, and then a lot of people anyway, credit the last album as one of their best albums. Guess what? Those two were work for hire musicians on the compilations, on creating them. That means they were still Kurt Cobain's songs, but he worked for hire with them. See what I'm saying? So they have every right to play those songs as anybody else has a right to play them. If there's not a contract saying they can't do it. Now, if there's a contract saying they can't do it, well, then I'd say it'd be expired by now anyway. They have just as much right to play those songs as anybody else. I say not even get anybody that copies Kurt Cobain. I say get somebody with their own flavor. Maybe if they can do what Post Malone. He's showed he can do a lot of songs because he did the whole set of it. You saw them gals. Some of them would mess up. I mean, they say he messed up. I didn't get to watch it yet, so I'm still watching the thing. I got the Snoop Dogg, and then whatever was after him. 3 hours is hard for me to watch. I don't watch that much TV anymore, y'all. I watch it in parts. That's one thing I like about the current TV. The current internet TV, that's what I like about it. You can watch it in parts. I'll see y'all.